Hey girls and guys, what's up? All right, so it is almost Mother's Day, and I want to say happy Mother's Day to all of you fabulous, wonderful, beautiful mothers out there, and to your mothers and their mothers and so on. Being a mom doesn't have to mean that you actually gave birth to a child. It could be simply that you are taking care of someone and you are a mother figure to someone. So to make sure I say happy Mother's Day to you as well. All right, so today I want to talk about a few things. One in particular, I wanted to share some inspiration with you girls. A lot of you guys have asked me about my updates for my vision board, or maybe you just seen my vision board video that I put up at the beginning of the year, and some of you had some questions and just wanted to chit chat about it. So I thought today would be a great day to let you guys in on a secret that I've been holding in for a while, and that is I am moving. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm not going to reveal where I am moving to or how far away or close I'm moving. We'll save that for another time. But I just want to share with you in terms of things manifesting themselves and things that you speak into existence and having faith and all of that stuff. I think it's really important to, share all the other stuff, about the BBL and like the fashion and all that stuff. But it's equally important to continue to inspire and encourage you, ladies and guys, just by sharing things that happen in my own personal life. One thing that I always pray when I pray at night is, Lord, use me and allow my testimony to help someone else. If you're excited about this little tea time, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. If you are subscribed, don't forget to hit the bell next to the subscribe button. That way you get inbox notifications every time we upload a brand new video. Now, I just want to warn you guys, this is a long video. So if you got something to do and you need some listening voice, whatever, you need to pass some time away, this is the video for you. If not, please save it and come back and watch it because I have an amazing message for you guys. I know it's a long talk, but there's definitely something in here for the right person. All right, so let's get into this long-winded story. As far as my vision board, let's talk about the vision board and things coming and happening, speaking things into existence and things manifesting themselves. So earlier this year, at the end of last year, in like the first day of this year, 2017. Woo! I don't know if you guys can see it, but anyway, this is my vision board. If you haven't seen that video, you might want to check it out if you're interested in doing something like that. So this vision board actually never made it up on my wall because I don't know. This is all going to be all over the place, but at the end, you'll figure it all out. It all ties together. I just run out of space in this house, okay? I'm tired of being here. It's a 3-story like townhome basically. So it's 3 levels, mostly two of the levels are livable, but it's got a lot of stairs and it's a condo, which means you're dealing with like HOA and other people that are in your business constantly. So while I've enjoyed the space itself, I've really outgrown it a lot. And so have my boys, and they're getting bigger. So I knew that my journey with this particular place was coming to an end, and it's going to be time for me to move on. So back to what I was saying about the vision board, I never put it up on my wall. It's been on my floor, sitting like in front of this little drawer thing where my TV sits. So it's been very visible. In fact, I think it's been more visible because it's like been sitting on the floor and I see it. Every time I walk in my room, every time I walk to my bathroom, every time I walk to the closet, every time I get out of my bed, I see this vision board. And the reason I'm going through all of that is to explain to you how the vision board works. It's to put it in your face and to constantly be there, constantly be on your mind. So the more you're thinking about something, the more you make things manifest themselves. That's why you'll hear people say, well, don't think negatively because negative things will happen. If you think positive, you'll bring positive things into your life. Well, this is the same premise with the vision board. So you see this vision board, it's good to put it up on the wall somewhere where you can see it all the time, because that's what your mind is constantly thinking about. It's constantly processing what's on that board, even subconsciously when you're not paying attention. So this is the thing. On my vision board, as we all know, I went to Dubai. I have travel, and not meaning in this continent, but in other continents like Europe and like Asia and stuff like that. And Dubai has always been on my bucket list from like day one. I've always wanted to go to Dubai. And when I did this vision board back in January, yes, I had already had my surgery, but no, I absolutely was not already working for Dr. Smiley. I, as you know, ended up going in for one of my post-op visits with Dr. Smiley. And when I left, or as I was getting ready to leave, he stopped me and asked would I come, work with him a couple days a week, handling his Snapchat and Instagram and helping out with that whole thing. And we talked a lot about me producing like some YouTube style videos for him with, the patients and the surgeries and stuff like that. So that was kind of the whole goal. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can do a couple days a week. I had to make some time for it in my life, but I went ahead and did it just because the opportunity was there, and it was really something fascinating for me to be inside of the OR, checking out the surgeries. I've always had like this curiosity with the medical field, so there's random things that I've researched for no reason, just because I'm really interested in that whole world. So it's a perfect fit, really. Now, being with Dr. Smiley for a short amount of time, I actually was able to go to Dubai with him. And it's really funny because the girl who was doing his Snapchat with me, Aiko, I love that girl. She's a miss. Her and I were like, oh, doctor's going to Dubai. He was going to do these, he's going to do surgeries because he's doing them like 3 to 4 times a year. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, oh, Dr. Smiley, you should take us with you. You should just like, find a reason to take us with you. And he thought we were like joking or whatever. And so finally, for whatever reason, he turned it into a contest. I'm like, nobody asked you to do a contest. We just simply asked you to pack us along and take us both with you. Long story short, he did the contest. I actually ended up winning the contest, which is crazy. So that's how I ended up going to Dubai. Not that it was a vacation, because I worked my butt off, but I got to Dubai. I got to see how beautiful it was. I got to interact with the people there, and a lot of women, which was one of the things I've always wanted to do. I love to travel so that I can interact with people of that land and get to know them and learn more about their culture. Like, that's what I like to do. Manifesting the whole travel thing, that came to fruition. And if you notice, there is a house on here. I live in a townhome because I'm in LA and it's expensive. Well, this is a big old house, okay? It's a big house and it's a gorgeous house. And I said, you know what? If you're going to dream, don't dream small, dream big. And I searched for a while for a house that I actually liked, that represented what I wanted to put on that vision board. I went to 4 different stores looking at magazines, different houses. I mean, I probably looked at, 200 different houses in magazines, trying to find a house that matched what I wanted. Funny thing is, I didn't even find that house in a magazine. I found it inside of an architectural book that I had already in my house that I've had for well over 10 years. So actually, I've had the book probably 12 years, actually, because I had it when my oldest son was about 2, because I was with my ex-husband and we were building a house. That's how I remember. Anyway, so I found this house. I was like, this represents the type of house that I want. And I'm like, this is going to be big. So I guess, Lord, I'm the contract, somewhere going to have to come falling out the sky, because I don't know how I'm going to afford that kind of house, living in LA or whatever. So anyway, needless to say, I am moving. I will be moving, I think, around the end of June, somewhere around there. So as that time gets closer, I'll keep you guys posted, and we'll do a lot of stuff pertaining to that. But let's just say the house that I found looks like that house a little bit, okay? It has its characteristics. It has the same vibe and feel. I think this house is like much bigger, but the house that I found is much bigger than where I am now. So it's really a blessing. And it's just, it's more than I don't know. It's funny because this was my boy's idea. This was not my idea. I didn't just say, oh, I'm tired, ready to move, gonna find somewhere else. I honestly was gonna kind of tough it out till the end of the year here, until I was ready to buy somewhere. So hi, things changed and I need to be out by the end of June. Because what happened is the guy that owns this unit, I didn't buy this unit, the guy that owns it, really nice guy, he and his wife, they are not like regular landlords. Like they actually had to end up moving to Arizona. So me moving in here was very helpful. Like the timing wise was great, but he doesn't want to keep renting this unit out. And so he asked me to buy it, or if I could try to find somewhere else to move to so he could sell it. And it's kind of like bittersweet because they're really cool people. They're, great people. I've had an amazing relationship with them, but I understand where they're coming from. So I wasn't all like side eyeing or pissed about it, anything. I totally understand. Like they don't want to be landlords. I wouldn't either. And so he wants to sell it. Now this has perfect timing. Y'all, this video gonna be so long, but if you bored and you just need to like maybe do your hair in natural girls, I know you need time to do something, because I know how long it takes to wash and condition and all that stuff. So since you got time, you can sit here and finish listening to this video. Anyway, so the timing, the way all this works, school is going to be out obviously the summer in this June. So that's like perfect time for me to move. My lease was about to be up at the end of June anyway. So again, perfect timing for me to move. And there's just like a few other things that just like perfectly aligned to make this move right now so perfect. So the place that I found is even cheaper than where I am now, which is a blessing, because let me tell you, y'all, these LA prices out here ain't no joke. No joke. So anyway, I wanted to grow House of Hot and get a pop-up van to do like pop-up shops. So a Sprinter van to do pop-up shops. And if you notice, that's on my vision board. Well, being where I am now, this thing could not fit in the garage because it's a parking garage and it's kind of low. But also, I don't have anywhere to leave it. I would have to leave it outside on the street, or in the back, and just nowhere to put it. So by me moving, I will now be able to get the Sprinter van, and because I'll be saving so much money, I still will be saving money by having the Sprinter van, which I will also be able to write off because I'm going to have it wrapped with House of Hot marketing logos and stuff. So that in itself is awesome. And I know I'm kind of all over the place because I'm not feeling that good. So I apologize for the low energy and for me just kind of being scatterbrained. But the whole point of this conversation is to just let you know that having faith is so important. There are a lot of people say, oh, whatever, faith or just hopes or dreams or wishing. It's having faith, especially if you're a Christian. I know sometimes it's easy to get discouraged. We all get discouraged. But I just want to be a little messenger and tell you to just hang on and have your faith. The Bible says just a mustard seed size of faith. So imagine if you had a tiny little mustard seed size of faith. Imagine if you had the faith the size of a tangerine. Imagine if you had the faith the size of a tennis ball. Imagine if you had the faith the size of a grapefruit. Imagine what you could do with your faith. Now, throughout this whole process, I have not been worried. I haven't been worried at all. When I told Tiara, she's kind of like, girl, that's like 2 months. And I was like, yeah, and I should be worried. And that's not to say that I haven't stressed, because it's weird how I process. I internalize stress, and I've got to stop doing that. But it's not stress like worrying about something. It's stress because I will overload myself with too many things in my head or too many things to do at one time. It's not worrying about getting those things done. It's just, well, worrying about, it's not worrying at all. It's just getting it all done. Like, so when I went to go look at houses, I took a whole weekend and did like Friday and Saturday. And I had my whole list. I had a spreadsheet done. I had appointments lined up. It was like legit. Like I treated it like it was a job. And it's funny because I had like 23 places on this list. I ended up getting scheduled 8 places. Well, I had 7 places. Let's take that back. I started with like 11 places, but from the time that I had actually scheduled all of that to the time I actually got to see them, like 4 of them were either gone or I realized they weren't going to work. So I just didn't even want to waste time looking at them because looking at houses is like, it's a job in itself. So, excuse me. So I'm like looking at houses. I look all day Friday. I take some time and I rest and just totally like just lounge that night. And I got up Saturday and I had to go look at the rest of the houses. Well, I saw a couple houses that could work. One of them I really loved a lot, but it was just too far and it only had 4 bedrooms. Now, when I told you I did this vision board, I was not playing. I was like, I need 5 bedrooms. That is just plain and simple. My boys deserve to have their own bedroom. I need my own bedroom, of course. I have to have an office space and I have to have a guest bedroom. I like to have my mom to come out to visit me. And, she's getting older and she's had a hip replacement surgery. And so she doesn't get to stay with me as much or as often because I have so many stairs in my house and all the bedrooms are upstairs. So my main requirement was that a bedroom had to be downstairs. The guest bedroom, not a master, but a guest bedroom had to be downstairs, and there had to be a 3/4 bath, meaning no bathtub, but a shower and toilet and sink. So that was a big requirement. I really was not going to get a house that didn't have at least that. Now, the pool, my boys wanted a pool. I was like, well, look now, if we get a pool, we get a pool. If we don't, we don't. But that was on my desire list. But I needed 5 spaces. So it could be like a 4-bedroom house with a bonus room, or it could be whatever, as long as I can get my 5 spaces. And, the big house that I saw, it was just so far away. The school that I was trying to get my son into, it was so far away from this house. I mean, it would take me 45 minutes every morning to get him to school. I am not about that life. No. And then the other thing about it, it only had 4 bedrooms, which means I really wouldn't have an office space. I could have maybe a desk in the guest bedroom, but I really didn't want to do that. So I was like, yeah, it's probably not going to work. And then I saw a few other houses. They just didn't work. So the reason I had to go see these houses is I have to feel the energy. I can look all day long, but if the energy, my spirit, my gut don't feel right, it's just not happening. I'm not going to move on it. So the energy at this place was good. It was calm, but my stomach was still a little just like uptight because I knew I shouldn't be out that far. And so then I looked at the other houses. Some of the neighborhoods, when I drove in, before I even got on the street to the first neighborhood, I was just like, oh, no. This area is not going to work whatsoever. So those are like, no. And then I found one house where I really liked the energy of the neighborhood. It's a gated community. And it was just like, it was good. It was very calming. My stomach didn't do anything. It was just very at peace. And so I saw this house. This house had not been listed, and yet the guy was going to list it that night. And so I saw the house. It had 3 bedrooms, but it also had a study, which they could not call a bedroom because it does not have a closet. So they legally can't call it a bedroom. Now, so that would work for my office or for whatever, a room. And then there was a bonus room up top by itself on the top floor. Is the only thing upstairs. So, and it was big. I could actually make that my studio and office space, and the boys could have like a place to kind of hang out and chill. It was like really big. So I was like, okay, I like this house a lot, but it didn't have a pool. It was still within my price range. I'm sorry, I had some green juice and the acid's killing me right now. Yeah. So, I'm cuckoo. I'm sorry. I'm so ADD. So this house, it was beautiful. The energy was good in the house. The feng shui wasn't perfect. I will say that. It was a little off, but it was, still within good energy, good harmony. I could have made it work. But I was like, okay, well, maybe this is the house I'm supposed to settle on. I was like, okay, God, thank you for giving me, because this house also had a pool within the community. So that kind of checked off the desire for a pool for my boys. And the boys were like, well, that's probably a good idea because you don't have to worry about the maintenance on it. My babies are so sweet, so thoughtful of their mommy. And so I was like, all right. So then I saw this other house pop up on Friday while I was looking at houses, and I really was like, oh, the specs on this house is like pretty much everything I need. Like I had 5 bedrooms, one was downstairs, had a 3/4 bath, so I knew that there was a shower. The neighborhood was great, and it wasn't far from the other house that I said, okay, maybe I'm going to go with this one. So I've been trying to call these people, like call. And I kept getting transferred. And they were like, oh, yeah, this is such and such. Transfer me to this guy's voicemail. This dude would not call me back. Would not call me back. I called him like 10 times. He wouldn't call me back. I left messages, and then I started calling again Saturday as I was looking at the last few houses, and still would not call me back. So then finally, I sat at a Starbucks after seeing the last house for Saturday, which was house number 7. And I was just like, man, this sucks. Like, I don't know why these people won't call me back. Like this house would be perfect. So I called a number and I heard it say, please enjoy this Verizon ringback tone or whatever. Please enjoy the music while we try to reach your party. Anyway, I knew it was somebody's cell phone. I was like, oh, wait, I think I must have dialed the wrong number. So I hung up, didn't leave a message. Well, then another realtor had called me and I was on the phone with them about another property that I had already seen. And so this number tried to call me back. Or actually, it was another number. It tried to call me, it was calling me back, and I just kind of ignored it because I was on the phone. And so then after I got off the phone, I called that number back, and then it said, please enjoy the music while your party is being reached. And I was like, what the heck? Another Verizon ringback. That's so weird because people don't really do those anymore. And, it's another cell phone. So I just hung up. I'm like, I don't know who this is. Maybe it was an accident. So then that number calls me back again. And I'm like, Lord, what is going on? What? So finally, I answered it, and she was like, hey, this is such and such. Were you trying to see a property? I'm like, oh, yeah, I've been trying to get in touch, to see this house for like the last 2 days. Can I see it today? I can't see it anymore. I'm going to be gone. I can't see it tomorrow. And so she was like, yeah, I can meet you over there. So she met me over there at like 3:00. I get over to the house, she gets out, and I'm like, okay, because then the guy got out, and I'm like, somebody set me up. I'm from the hood, so I'm always suspect about everything, okay? And so turns out to be her son. It was a grown son that was with her. I guess they were out doing something, and she stopped what she was doing to show me this property. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. So she showed me this house, and while we're in the house, I'm looking at the house, and I'm like, man, these rooms are small. I'm like, it has everything I need. It has a pool. It's beautiful. The kitchen was like bomb, but the feng shui of this house was like off. I don't know, something was off about it. It wasn't set up. And so I was cool. Like my stomach was like all calm and stuff. but almost a sense of disappointment because the rooms were so small. It was 5 bedrooms. The master bedroom was just a little bit bigger than the one I'm in now, and the other bedrooms were just small. And I'm like, well, my boys at least, they'll have their own space. And so whether it's small or not, they'll still be happy. And there's a pool. The kitchen's nice, it has closet space. So whatevs. And then she was like, these rooms are kind of small. And she was like, I don't know. And she's like, by the way, how did you find me? What do you mean, how did I find you? How did you find me? Because you called me. I didn't call you. I don't think I called you. She's like, well, I answer sometimes for like listing services, but she was like looking at this paper. She's like, I've never worked with this company. She's never. She's like, I've been a realtor for a long time. She's like, I've never worked with this company. I was like, I looked up and I was like, you real funny. Real funny. Nobody but God. Somehow I misdialed her number, got to get her number. That was the only thing we could have come up with. She was like, well, you called me first. And I'm like, no, I didn't call you first. And so somehow God was playing Mr. Telephone Man and just kind of connected those wires and we got each other. And that's that. So she was like, well, what are you looking for? Because we can start there. She was like, maybe I can help you. And I'm just like, well, I hadn't seen everything that's available. I was like, but look, this is what I absolutely need. And then here's the list of things that I would love to have, but they are not deal breakers. So she was like, She's like, that sounds so familiar. Just like really familiar. She's like, hang on a second. Let me make a phone call. And so she calls this guy who is her client. This guy had just bought a house, just closed on a house. And he was getting the keys like on Friday, this next Friday. And she said that the house that he's in, she was like, if I remember correctly, that sounds like exactly what you're looking for. But he's getting ready to move out because he just bought this other house. And I was like, oh, really? And so she calls the guy. This guy had just gotten back in town. And she was like, well, do you mind if I bring my other client over to see this space? Because I think your house would be perfect for what she needs. And, really, he could have been like, yeah, I don't want this lady in my house. I just got back home. His house could have been a mess, could have been like whatever, because I know I would feel some sort of way. And he was like, no, just bring her over. So I followed her. We go over to this guy's house. First of all, it's in the same gated community as the other house that I was gonna go with, okay? So the energy with the neighborhood was already on point. It was good, it was calming, like my gut was centered and felt really calm. So I park and I get out and I get to the door, and the minute I walked in the door, I knew that was the place. Like, it was one of those moments where, I don't know if you've ever I took a keto when I was little, and if you take any martial arts or just as a kid playing how you drop your weight and it's really hard for someone to pick you up, it's like grounding yourself. So no matter how heavy you are, you can make it very difficult for someone to pick you up. I felt that kind of feeling. Like I was just so grounded. Like it was everything that I needed. It was everything that I wanted. I knew it before even going through the house. And I walk in, there's this big open space, and it's for like a formal dining and formal living room. And then you walk and there's the stairs, and then there is this open area for like a more family room. And then there's this huge kitchen. And it's everything that I wanted in a kitchen. It's like open, and it's got all the upgrade stuff. It's real cute. And then there's room for a little breakfast table. And then you look out the windows and there's this gorgeous pool. Oh my God. And it's not just a pool, because a lot of the places in this area, don't have a lot of land. So, if you have a pool, it's just all cement in this pool. And I'm okay with that because I don't really want the maintenance of a yard, to be honest. And so this place, the pool is kind of catty corner. And so there's like greenery kind of off to the side around it. And there's like a built-in barbecue. And Just everything that I was looking for. And it has like a fire pit. It's just like gorgeous. And I was just like, oh my God. So this is it. I hit the mother load. And then so I look up, and up on the wall, it's really high ceilings. There is this pair of Longhorns. Y'all know I'm from Texas. And I was just like, and I asked him, I said, are you from Texas? And he was like, no. He's like, those Longhorns were actually in the house when I got it. So you're welcome to keep them. So I was like, oh, they were beautiful. Like, they're not just like some crazy, they were like gorgeous, like Longhorns. Anyway, so at this point, I already knew I wanted the house. And he was like, no, but you should go look at the house. And I was like, I already know I want it. He's like, no, really, go look at everything. And so there was the bedroom downstairs for my mom, and it was big. And then that particular bedroom actually had French doors that swing open to the pool and the patio, so she can relax and, just feel like she's like, on vacation. And then there was the 3/4 bath with the shower instead of the bathtub. And then all the other bedrooms were upstairs, and they were all good-sized bedrooms. And my soon-to-be bedroom, the master, it's an oversized master with a sitting area. I know I'm being goofy right now, but this makes me so emotional because God, oh my God, God is so real. I get all these comments about like, oh, God don't exist, and girl, you stupid, or whatever, you brainwashed. Don't listen to those people. If you are a believer and you're a Christian, you keep your faith and you keep on believing, because I am a living testament. God is always on time. The other thing is, with these other places, if I had settled on those houses, I would have had to take possession within 2 weeks, meaning I would have to be paying there and here at the same time. And now you're talking about some serious money, until I was, able to move from here. So this particular situation, first of all, this house is not listed. It was not on the market yet. And the guy was just like, whenever you want to move, just let me know. It's like, no big deal. And I told him, I said, well, my lease is not up until the end of June. He was like, okay, June, July, whenever you want to move. I was just like, for real? It's like, yeah, whatever. I couldn't have orchestrated and worked that situation out better if I tried. I would have never imagined that things would have worked out the way they did. I know how God always does this with me, because even when I moved to LA, something similar happened, but this was just a more extreme version. I moved here and I had a list of properties that I wanted to see, but by the time I had actually flown in and, was ready to get with the realtor, he had contacted me like the night before. He was like, pretty much everything on your list is gone or pending. It's like there's nothing left to see. Talk about heartbreak. I was like, what? So that next day, because I was only here for like a couple days when I first came to LA, went to look at a place, look at places, because I was going to make a decision and go back to Texas and then get all my stuff packed up. Well, that next day, I, decided to, my boyfriend at the time, he was like, well, why don't you like drive the area and just at the neighborhoods and see how you feel about it, because you might not even like the areas that you picked, and maybe that's why that happened. And I was like, yeah, it's a good idea. So we drove, and I remember driving over the hill, Laurel Canyon, to Studio City, and it was just like, wow, a peace. I remember coming down the hill, and it was just so calming. I think I've told y'all this story before, but just for people that haven't heard it, I knew I was supposed to be in this particular area, because the further we got outside this area, the more unsettled I felt. And then I just happened to be refreshing the realtor app, and then this unit popped up, and it was new. It had been just listed that morning. And so I was like, oh my God, this place is beautiful. It has a space that I needed at the time because I downsized a lot. And so I called the guy and he was like half asleep. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, give me 15 minutes and I'll meet you, out front. And I was like, oh, okay. This is a condo building. So we go and wait. And I'm like, oh, this is so pretty. And so he comes out and I walk in. And of course, I had that same grounded feeling, like my gut was at such peace. And, I had a little elevator. So we get on the elevator and go up to the top floor. This is the only unit available in this building. Well, there was a 1-bedroom for sale. And I wasn't, trying to buy anything, obviously, just moving here. And so I was like, wow. So we get up and the door was PH 8. I don't know if I told you guys that part because I wasn't going to tell nobody like my unit number. Stalkers. Anyway, it was penthouse 8. And if you sound phonetically PH 8, it's fate. And I knew from that moment that's where I was supposed to be at that time. And I stayed there for just over 2 years. And then, of course, I outgrew the space. And that's when I moved into this place like 3 years ago. And, it was just, I don't know. I can't even explain. But it's this kind of the same thing that happened with this particular situation. There's no explanation. I don't need an explanation other than it being God showing me how much he has my back despite what I'm going through, despite, anything that I've done or whatever it is. God is not a liar. He cannot lie. So if he's promised you something, then that's what you're going to have. It's easy to get distracted. It's easy to get discouraged. I mean, honestly, when I saw that one house with the small bedrooms and, it had everything that I needed and kind of somewhat what I wanted, I was a little discouraged. I was like, not discouraged, but more a little disappointed. I was like, okay, whatever. It was in the same price range. So I was like, all right. I was just tired of looking at that point. But so the last house that I saw was also house number 8. If you are, a Christian or whatever, then you know that 8 is a number of new beginnings. And of course, PH 8, like there's always like some 8 associated with my moves. It's funny. But yeah, it's a number of new beginnings. So here we are again, the new beginning. I hope you got some encouragement and some inspiration from it. And you were able to pull from my story and just remind yourself that, hey, I can't see something right now, but I believe this is what's going to happen. And I believe, and this is what I want for myself. And I believe that these things will manifest. And I hope that resonates with you and rings true to you as well. So if you have any comments and you'd like to share your story or questions or anything like that, please feel free to put that down below. Don't forget, I'll go further into sharing about my move later on. I'm not going to do that right now, just until I get things figured out and settled. So, yeah, if you like this video, please go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. If you are subscribed, don't forget to hit the bell next to the subscribe button. That way you get inbox notifications every time we upload a brand new video. All right? That's it. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, week. And again, happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there and all of you dads that have to be both mom and dad. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
I'm a dork.